Hey, live look over Cedar Rapids. We have a lot of sunshine out there, but we're looking at this thunderstorm tower trying to go up just off to our west. We're now in Tama and Benton County. That may bring a risk for some strong storms this afternoon. In fact, they did just issue a severe thunderstorm warning in far southwestern Wisconsin. And again, we are watching this line from Tama to Dubuque for the potential development of storms this afternoon. As I alluded to yesterday, they'd be very spotty in nature. And so far, that's exactly what we're seeing. One storm here, possibly another storm popping up here. Now, when we talk about a spotty thunderstorm, this is very much the definition of a spotty thunderstorm. Just one storm right now in eastern Iowa, but it's a pretty strong one. Again, severe thunderstorm warning does continue for far northeastern Linn County into much of Jones County. That continues until 7 p.m. This storm has a history of producing some hail. It could produce hail up to quarters. Also, 60-mile-per-hour wind gust with this, in addition to lightning and torrential rainfall. Places impacted will be Anamosa by about 6:21 or so, Wyoming by about 6:40 in the far eastern part of this warning. Again, this continues to move off to the east at about 45 miles an hour, so it's not racing along. And one other note is that we are starting to watch this development here just northwest of Cedar Rapids. There could be another storm trying to get going. At least it looks like it on satellite. So we'll keep an eye on this line here. Overall, though, the storm threat should dramatically decrease as we head towards sunset tonight. And good evening, everybody. I'm Weather First Meteorologist Stewart. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning, and I want to stress this is a particularly dangerous storm moving through the area right now. These were hailstones that we picked up earlier just outside of our studio. These were a little bit larger than golf balls. Very large hail, 2-inch diameter hail. We likely have some damaged vehicles in our parking lot. Let's jump to the radar here. You can see that severe thunderstorm warning, which has just been issued, includes Benton, Cedar, and Linn counties until 7:45. A very dangerous storm with a history of producing very large hail. One very large hail core here is approaching the city of Fairfax. So Fairfax, you're likely going to get hit by some very intense hail here pretty shortly. This warning is for hail up to the size of golf balls, but we have seen upwards of 2-inch in diameter hail. We have this other very potent part of the storm. This is the part that left Cedar Rapids and Marion and continued to move off to the south and east. This one also has a history of producing 2-inch in diameter hail, maybe even larger. There were some extremely large hailstones. I believe we have some pictures of the hailstones here. That's in comparison to golf balls. So again, we had some very, very large hailstones that fell here in Cedar Rapids. Looks like we got a video here. And you can just see the large hailstones coming down the ground. They were coming in extremely fast. So you can see the ground covered with the hailstones there as well. You can see some of the big ones that kind of bounce around in the air a little bit. Very intense hail fell on the north side of Cedar Rapids, and we're seeing more reports elsewhere as well. I mean, just look at how intense that hail core was. Very large hail, upwards of 2-inch in diameter. This will cause damage to sidings of houses, your vehicles, and of course you if you're not taking precautions inside. Make sure you're staying inside away from the hailstones. These will hurt you if you are outside. Now, a lot of people outside enjoying the nice weather today due to how nice it was. A lot of people outside. Unfortunately, this really brought a big end. Oh boy, I don't know if I want to watch this. This is what happened in our parking lot. We had some very large hailstones that were falling here. What you'll notice here is that we have less hailstones, but they're larger. They're bigger hailstones. And that was the problem with the north side of Cedar Rapids. We didn't get quite as many hailstones, but they were much larger. So let's recap. There's a picture right there. Again, that approaching golf ball sized in places, likely over 2 inches in a few places as well. So let's go look at the radar one more time here. We'll kind of give everybody up to speed. Again, we're sticking with this a little bit longer than we typically would for severe thunderstorm warnings due to the magnitude of the storm and the severity of the storm. Fairfax, I would get ready to get inside. Take shelter from the storm. That is a very mean hail core there on radar approaching the city of Fairfax, likely approaching 2 inches in diameter. It looks like the worst is now over for the city of Cedar Rapids for most part. However, the far south side, south of the Cedar River, we can still see some large hailstones there. Probably not as large, maybe up to quarters. And then, of course, we have this really mean part of the storm as well that continues pushing into eastern Linn County, into far western Jones County. Right now, over rural areas of Linn County, the biggest hailstones right now along Springville Road northwest. just along Elbow Creek Road and Lynn Ridge Road. That's kind of the biggest hailstones right here. When you see those dark pinks, that's not a good sign. And we also have this other part of the storm that is kind of moving out of the Cedar Rapids area as well. This one along Mount Vernon Road southeast, likely approaching where it intersects with Bloomington Road. Anytime you see those pinks on radar, that's not a good sign. So let's go ahead and recap one more time the warnings we have in effect. Cedar, Lynn, Jones, and Benton counties all under severe thunderstorm warnings, the newest of which, and probably the meanest signature on radar right now, is this one. This will likely be approaching the the eastern Iowa airport as well. So this big hail core, the bright pinks there, that is a sign of very large hail approaching Fairfax. That'll be moving off to the southeast, likely approaching areas like the eastern Iowa airport. Oh boy. When you see the bright purple, friends, that's not good. You have really intense purple showing up on radar. That's not good. Fairfax likely going to start getting some very large hail with this storm. We have more photos coming in from viewers. Please send us your photos. We love to see them. Send them to us on our website, iowasnewsnow.com/chime in, or there's a chime in tab at the very top of the page. These photos you can see a little bigger than pennies, probably approaching quarters. So again, what you'll probably notice there is that they missed the very large hailstones, but there are probably a lot more hailstones. Again, that one compared to a penny, look at how big those are. Those are some of the mean hailstones here, probably upwards of golf balls, maybe 2 inches in diameter. Unbelievable photos. I was a little concerned. You probably heard me say it on air that the National Weather Service, the Storm Prediction Center, didn't issue that severe thunderstorm watch further west. We're technically not under a watch, but again, these storms definitely have quite a punch. Unbelievable photos you're seeing there all across eastern Iowa. So again, let's recap the radar here. If you can bring me on cam 2 with the radar, let's talk about this. Again, right now approaching the Highway 151 area right by Fairfax. Those bright pinks and purples, that is a bad sign. Likely some very large hail falling near Fairfax, probably up to maybe golf balls, maybe 2 inches in diameter. And then we have this other mean part of the storm. Again, the dark pinks here and the purples, indications of very large hail. Far eastern Lynn County, now pushing into Jones County. So areas like Martell, you'll probably just be on the north side of that storm, but I would start taking precautions just in case. Okay, now what I just mentioned about the purple showing up on radar, the National Weather Service now upped the warning. We're now talking about 2.5-inch hail. That's approaching baseball-sized hail. This is a very dangerous storm here moving through eastern Iowa. We're now talking about baseball-sized hail falling from these storms. Very dangerous storm here. With that, I kind of want to recap again just because of the severity of the storm. So let's do one more sweep from west to east, and then we'll do an update again. Again, big hail core right now just passed over Fairfax. Fairfax probably got hit pretty hard by the storm. These bright purples and pinks on radar right by the Fairfax area, now heading towards eastern Iowa airport. That is bad news. That is likely very large hail, at least the size of golf balls, probably approaching baseball-sized hail. That's that one dark core there. The other issue we have is with this core right now in far eastern Lynn County pushing into Jones County and probably far northwestern Cedar County as well. This has a lot of potential for producing some very large hail as well. Just southwest of Martell, just north of Mount Vernon. Mount Vernon, you'll probably escape the worst of the hail, but you may want to start thinking, if you're not seeing the hail yet, you may want to start thinking about moving your car inside just in case as the storm continues to move. And actually, I also now just see, I'm glad I held on, the National Weather Service did in fact just extend the severe thunderstorm watch into our area. So you get blinking there. Brand new watch has been issued for all of our counties along and south of Highway 30. This continues until 11 p.m. We're talking about the potential for very large hail for the rest of the evening. Maybe the Storm Prediction Center is watching this broadcast, who knows. But again, we're watching the potential for very large hail falling with this storm. So We'll keep you updated here on Iowa's News Now. I have a feeling we're going to do more frequent cut-ins. If not by 7:30, maybe before then, if another warning gets issued. We'll keep you updated here on Iowa's News Now. I'm also doing a Facebook Live right now on the Iowa's News Now page. Get the very latest updates there. If you do have photos, we'd love to see them. iowasnewsnow.com. Send them to us on the top of the page via the Chime In tab. Stay safe, everybody. And good evening, everybody. I'm weather first meteorologist Nick Stewart. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning. Very dangerous line of storms continues to move through eastern Iowa. New severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for Cedar and Jones County. That continues until 8:15. This storm has a history of producing very, very large hailstones in excess of golf balls and baseballs. It's a very dangerous storm now. Just leaving the Lisbon area, approaching areas like Clarence and Tipton. That'll be your next targets with this storm. Again, this storm continues to move off to the south and east. Let me get a more specific timing here. It's starting to, as you know, move a little bit more southeast than east like they were earlier. This one's still moving east-southeast at 35 miles an hour. So let me put a fan on it to give you some idea of where the storm will be and when. Let me change this to 35 miles an hour. Again, we've seen a lot of reports of very large hail with these storms. We got a ton of new photos coming in. We'll get to that in just 1 second. Let me time out this storm real quick. It'll be approaching areas like Hale by 7:20, Stanwood by 7:23, Clarence will be in your area by 7:30, and Massillon by about 7:36. To recap the other severe thunderstorm warnings that we have in effect, this one continues for southern Lynn County. This one continues until 7:45. This storm also is a history of producing some very large hail. Passed over the eastern Iowa airport. Now Ely, you are next in line with this storm as it moves off to the south and east. But again, the big story with this has been the incredible hail. Let's take a look at some of the viewer photos that we got coming in because they are massive. This one, I mean, that's easily 2-inch in diameter hail, very large hail with that, extremely large hailstones. You'll notice the entire ground behind that completely littered with the hailstones. Very, very large hailstones. You can see there we got a tape measure, so you can actually kind of see with it. We got at least 2-inch diameter hail with that hailstone there on the far top of the picture. Very, very large hailstones there. That one, that's at least probably 2.5 inches. That's a very large hailstone there as well. Again, this storm has a history of producing some very dangerous hail, not only damaging to people if you're outside, but also your cars. We have, I think, every car in Broadcast Park's parking lot has dents all over it. Sorry, Director Emily, your car doesn't look too good. I looked at it not too long ago, and my car also has more dents on it than the last time I went to Kansas with it. We have that one compared to a $20 bill. Very large hailstone falling with that, probably about 2 inches in diameter there. Incredible hailstones. And again, we have that here at Broadcast Park as well. I got a little cup here. Floor Director John here got us some great hailstone. You can see very large here at Broadcast Park, and these have melted already. Very, very large hailstones. And again, we didn't have quite the amount that you saw some of the videos earlier with the entire ground covered. We had just sporadic. It's kind of like an Easter egg hunt in our grass here in eastern Iowa. But again, if we can go back to that, if you have that one video lined up, that was in that backyard, we just saw them all falling, the whole ground getting covered. If you can pull that up, that would be fantastic. Otherwise, though, you're watching viewer photos that we're getting from viewers like you. We'd love to see them. iowasnewsnow.com. That's the video, exactly. All right, let's go for it. Again, this is a video. Does it say what someone was taken, by the way? Marion. This is a Marion. Marion was just north of the really intense hail. The heaviest of the hail actually pretty much struck our studio head on. Marion, for the most part, was spared of the very large hailstones, but you'll notice a lot of hail continues to fall there, in excess of 1 inch to maybe 2 inches, and a lot of hailstones. We didn't get quite as much hail, we just got much larger hailstones. There's a lot of science that goes in behind that, but I'll spare you those details for the time being. Again, incredible photos and videos coming in from viewers. We'll recap the severe thunderstorm warnings again. This is the newest warning which has been issued by the National Weather Service for Cedar and Jones County until 6:15 p.m. Clarence, you're going to be in the crossfire for this storm pretty soon. It's in far southern Jones County, approaching much of Cedar County. I'll put another fan on it, moving off to the east-southeast ever so slightly there. So again, Mechanicsville, within the next few minutes, you're going to be hit with this storm hail by 7:24, Stanwood by about 7:30, Clarence, if this holds together, 7:35. If you have a garage, it might not be a bad idea to move your car inside of that garage as the storm continues. But if the hail's already falling, it's too late. Do not go outside and risk it because the hail can cause a lot of injury to you as well. I kind of want to stick and see what the National Weather Service does with this storm right here. I wouldn't be surprised if they do extend it into Johnson County, just based on the history that this the storm has. But this storm also warned for far southern Lynn County until 7:45. Large hail also falling with this storm. I believe this was also in excess of ping pong ball, so about 1.5 inch hail. I'm going to go through some of the reports we have so far coming into the National Weather Service, several of them. Again, this warning continues for Cedar Jones, 1.75 inch hail. We have reports of considerable damage to vehicles via a weather spotter in Hiawatha. So these storms mean business here. We had 1.75 inch hail in southern Marion. Not surprising. We had 2 inch hail at Broadcast Park. That's my report in there. We did have a broken windshield from what I was told. We had 2.5 inch hail, tennis ball sized hail in Marion as well. So again, incredible damage and incredible hail has been falling with this storm. So maybe they won't issue a new warning there for Johnson County. So let's just recap one time and then we'll send you normal programming and we'll break in as needed. Again, severe thunderstorm warning continues for southern Jones County and northern Cedar County. That continues until 8:15. This storm moving off to the south and east at about 45 miles an hour. Put a fan on it one more time for anybody that is just joining with us. Stanwood, hail pretty much knocking on your door right now. Oxford Junction by about 7:30. Clarence by about 7:31 or so. Loudon, if it holds together all the way through Cedar County, it'll be in your area by about 7:45. Again, very dangerous storms continue to move through eastern Iowa. And one final thought, we have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for areas along and south of Highway 30 until 11 p.m. I think this might be the last of the storms popping up, but these storms will likely continue for quite some time. We'll keep an eye on it right now on Iowa's News Now throughout the evening and get the very latest on Facebook. We are doing a Facebook Live right now at our Facebook page, Iowa's News Now. We have a lot of hail falling in eastern Iowa. We'd love to see your photos. We'll send you now back to normal programming. This one continues as well. That moves off to the south and east. We'll put a track on that. Again, I've been telling you Clarence over and over again. You're on the path of the storm. Clarence will be in your area within the next 5 minutes. And if it holds together, Loudon by about 7:48. We won't be on air as long as we have been since they're kind of just 2 storms now as opposed to chaos. But I do want to show you some photos that we do have from some viewers. We've been getting some incredible viewer photos. Again, very large hailstones doing damage to cars, can also be doing damage to buildings. I believe our building actually has damaged. The radio station we share a building with has damaged the sign, I'm told. Again, you can see compared to the ruler there, about 2 inches in diameter. Very, very large hail fell with this storm. A lot of very large hailstones as well. But again, these severe thunderstorm warnings are very dangerous, which is why we're sticking with them a little bit longer than we typically do, just because these are what we consider to be dangerous. You can see very smart there, wearing the helmet. Great photo there, doing some safety there. Great option, and I love the photo. Thank you for sending that one in. A nice photo there as well, some pretty large hailstones. Very happy to see it. Hopefully she doesn't own a car herself. We got about 2 inch hailstones there. Again, very large hail falling with these storms. Continue to send us your photos. We'd love to see them. We'll try and get them on air. iowasnewsnow.com. Chime in at the top of the page. You'll see the chime in link there. Otherwise, iowasnewsnow.com/chime in. We'll do one recap on the warnings one more time here. Cedar County, this continues until 8:15 p.m. Clarence, it's pretty much knocking on your door, moving off to the east-southeast. Clarence pretty much within the next minute or two. Loudon by about 7:45. And of course, we have this other part in extreme northeastern Johnson County, taking out on the Sutliff area right now. That also moving off to the south and east. You can see Cedar Bluff by about 7:56 742, tipped in by about 7:56. Please stay safe, everybody, and of course, stay healthy at the times we're going through. It's a good time to just stay inside and let these storms pass. We'll have a very latest on Iowa's News Now, and of course, we are still streaming Facebook Live on our Facebook page, Iowa's News Now. Stay safe and stay healthy, everybody. Have a good evening.